Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Hello, good Saturday evening, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Weekend Crew. I'm Dustin Klemann. The suspect who barricaded himself inside a Billings sporting goods store for 9 hours is dead. The dangerous standoff included numerous rounds of gunfire, but no injuries to police. Here's the very latest. A suspect drove a vehicle into the front of Big Bear Sports Center early Saturday morning. The suspect fired shots inside the store, and when police arrived, officers fired their weapons.
We had random, intermittent gunshots from inside the store. They were of all caliber. Small and large, we could tell from the sound.
The man barricaded himself inside the sporting goods store, and police called it SWAT team, as well as the negotiator on scene. More gunfire, flashbangs. The negotiations went on for 9 hours.
At one point, we thought that he was going to give himself up. He exited, or started to exit, from the east door next to PetSmart. He showed his hands initially, retreated into the building, and then the next thing we saw was a rifle barrel that was pointed in the direction of officers.
An officer fired at the suspect, driving him back into the store. Police continued to negotiate, and 30 minutes later, the suspect went back to the front door and then fired at officers. Police received visual confirmation of the suspect through security cameras inside the store.
We saw that he was not moving, and so after 30 minutes, we sent our robot in to double check. Previously, he had feigned that he was going to give up, so we didn't want to put anybody at risk. The robot went in, took an assessment, and then we sent our tactical team in with the sheriff's office to verify that the individual was indeed down, and then clear the rest of the store.
And now the investigation begins.
We have a crime scene here that we're going to deal with, so our detectives are going to be working through the entire store. I have no idea what our suspect did while he was in the store. Don't know what damage, if any. Obviously he had access to weapons and he used them, so he may have spent some time back in the gun section. These are all things that are going to come out in the investigation.
And part of that investigation, too, was what the suspect was doing prior to going to the store. A Walmart employee contacted us this afternoon saying he witnessed the suspect attempting to open a gun case in the store. He was told to leave by staff before he barreled into the front of Big Bear. Now, the employee said that the man appeared impaired. St. John says 7 officers discharged their weapons throughout the standoff that led to the suspect's death. This is what the scene looked like this evening. Police used city dump trucks to provide protection from possible stray bullets entering the busy King Avenue area. Businesses in the immediate area were closed, and some others further away decided to close their doors until the situation was resolved. St. John says, though, he was pleased with how officers handled the safety of the public.
When you have people shooting high-powered rifles and a propensity to do so, that the decision to close this area down was the right one. It was prudent. You see that we had trucks lining the front of Big Bear to prevent any rounds from going over. Once he came out that side door, that changed because we couldn't cover that. It's a very, very tragic deal, but handled very well, I thought.
It's unclear if Big Bear will be open for business tomorrow. It does look unlikely. The situation caused significant damage to the front entrance, including a ruptured water main and gas line. Again, the suspect has not been identified at this time. We'll continue to follow the story on air and online at ktvq.com as it develops. Staying with Crime Watch news, 2 suspects are arrested in connection with multiple burglaries in and around the town of Big Timber. The thefts have gone on for 4 to 5 weeks. Sweetgrass County Sheriff's Office identified the suspects as Michael J. Avila and Eric D. Gibson. Both individuals are on conditions of release for felony drug charges, but now both are charged with multiple felony theft charges, and others are pending. Icy road conditions on Interstate 90 caused issues for drivers throughout the afternoon and evening. At least one semi overturned near Livingston exit this morning. Fresh snowfall and just the right temperatures caused slick conditions for drivers along the highway. Also this afternoon, Highway 87 just south of Roundup was completely blocked following an accident. A pickup with a construction trailer crashed, spilling nails all over the highway. We're told that has since been cleaned up. Be sure to grab your Q2 weather app. We'll have more from Rob Griggs right now. It's a perfect time to check in with our friend here. Talk a little bit about the day itself, where we feel like we've entered full-blown winter weather.
Yeah, and it started November 1st. We got past the trick-or-treating, and then the morning of November 1st, the first snow fell, and here we are, and now we've got fog in the valley and in parts of southern Montana, northern Wyoming. So it looks like winter out there.
It does.
And it doesn't look like it's going to be going away tomorrow. I know. Well, you know, there is something on the horizon to talk about, but we'll get to that. This is what it looked like this evening in Molt as the fog was settling in. Jerry Erfer sent us this picture to Q2, and wow, what a great shot. Looks like an Ansel Adams black and white, doesn't it? Nope, that's just fog, and I'm sure there was color involved in there somewhere. Right now across the state, single digits up on the high line from Cutbank over toward Glasgow, Jordan 3 above 0, and these will be the coldest temperatures we've experienced since March, so bear that in mind. Flurries and fog in the area tonight. Again, the coldest night since mid-March. You know, it definitely feels like winter out there. And turn your clocks back, turn that thermostat up. You're going to need to do both of those things tonight. The Storm Tracker forecast in just a little bit. Dustin?
All right, Rob, thank you very much. To national news, President Trump begins his first trip to Asia since being inaugurated today. It will be his longest trip abroad as he heads to Japan, then South Korea, China, Vietnam, and the Philippines. Kim Hutcherson has a preview of the trip.
President Trump and the First Lady leave Hawaii Saturday, headed to Japan to begin a 12-day, 5-country tour in Asia. The trip will start in Tokyo, where Trump will sit down with the Japanese Prime Minister before heading to South Korea, China, Vietnam, and the Philippines. One of the most anticipated stops will be in Beijing, where Trump will meet with the Chinese president to discuss security issues related to North Korea, along with U.S. trade.
Not only North Korea, obviously, which is the key issue on this trip, but also, as President Trump said, trade. You know, President Trump has said that he doesn't feel that the U.S. has gotten a good deal.
Another possible topic of discussion is China's role in the South China Sea and the increased presence of its military.
While everybody's talking about the threat posed by North Korea, and that's certainly the most imminent threat, China's military rise, its aggressiveness in the region is certainly something that these other countries are concerned about.
Meanwhile, hundreds gathered to protest in Seoul, South Korea, ahead of Trump's visit there Tuesday. On Friday, he and the First Lady observed a moment of silence at Pearl Harbor after placing a wreath inside the USS Arizona Memorial. I'm Kim Hutcherson reporting.
In other news tonight, Kentucky police say someone attacked Senator Rand Paul inside of his home. Paul wasn't hurt badly. Police say the Republican senator suffered a minor injury. State troopers responded to his home in Bowling Green, Kentucky Friday afternoon, and they left with a 59-year-old man in custody. That man, Rene Albert Boucher, has been charged with 1 count of 4th-degree assault. It's not clear exactly what happened to Mr. Paul. His communications director released a statement saying the senator was blindsided by his attacker. He said that Rand Paul is fine. Other news tonight, documents in the latest batch of JFK files indicate that Lee Harvey Oswald had no link to the CIA. A memo written in 1975 describes a search of records across multiple agency components and other U.S. government divisions. The CIA determined that Oswald, quote, never had any connection whatsoever with the agency, end quote. The document also says that it found no record of it or indication that any other government agency recruited him or used him as a source. The record search was completed about a week and a half after President John F. Kennedy was assassinated on November 22, 1963. This Friday, the National Archives released another 676 new documents related to that Kennedy assassination. Still ahead on the Q2's 10 o'clock news, Montana's first female governor honored in her hometown today. We'll show you people paying their respects to Miss Judy Marks. And later in sports, the playoff game of the day. It was in White Sulphur Springs. Could the undefeated Hornets hold off Weibo? We have highlights on the way.
You're watching MTN News with Dustin Klemann, Storm Tracker weather with Rob Griggs, and sports with Casey Conlon. This is the Q2 10 o'clock news in high definition.